Welcome to GHC Coffee Break. Joining me today is our president of Georgia Highlands College, Don Green, and I'm very excited to have him. Get your coffee and we'll be right back.
I'm transferring to the University of West Georgia.
Columbia University,
Kennesaw State,
UGA, Loyola University in Chicago,
Grambling State,
Shorter University. I'm going to Greensboro College, and we all got our start at Georgia Highlands.
No matter where your educational journey takes you, you can get your start at Georgia Highlands College. Georgia Highlands College. Enroll, engage, excel.
Welcome back to GHC Coffee Break. I'm very excited today. I hope you have your coffee. I'm very excited today. Dr. Don Green, who is our president of Georgia Highlands, has become a great colleague, and I'm very excited about some of the things that he's been doing at Georgia Highlands. One of the things that we're really going to begin, Don, is to look at Georgia Highlands once a month, try to feature things that faculty or events that are going on at the college, and you're kind of our debut here on this particular.
That's exciting. I'm glad to be.
So school is, of course, getting ready to start, or maybe just started, depending on when this actually airs. But let's talk a little bit about some of your insights, some of your vision for Georgia Highlands.
Sure. One of the things that bothers me a little bit is that we are such a great institution, but we're such a well-kept secret. We really have not reached into the community and helped people to understand the value of higher education and the value of Georgia Highlands like we probably should. I mean, we have had such success. Over the last year, a lot of people don't know it, but the Coca-Cola Foundation names an all academic team for the state of Georgia. And it's named from the students amongst all of the colleges in our sector of state colleges within the state. Georgia Highlands had the largest number of scholars of any institution within Georgia. And we don't ever talk about that. We don't talk about all of our honor students. We don't talk about students going to Columbia, going to Yale, going to Loyola, going, of course, to Tech and to Georgia and a variety of other universities. We probably need to reach out into the community and help to do that. Why? Not just to promote Georgia Highlands, it's to promote higher education and to help people understand the value that we can provide in their lives.
Absolutely. And when you said, I didn't go to Yale, but I am an alumni of Georgia Highlands back when it was Floyd Junior College, went through the Human Services Associate level program, had a great mentor. And one of the things to me when I look at Georgia Highlands and the faculty, some of the faculty that were here in 83 to 86, which is the years I was here, are still here.
Yeah.
They're still phenomenal.
Yeah.
I look at my colleagues and I'm just so honored to be a part of that group. And as a student in the 80s, now unfortunately both of my mentors have since died. Steve Burns was one of them, and he's the one that said, you've got to go on to Georgia State. And I thought, Georgia State, that's so big. And I was a person that never thought I was going to college. I was a first generation college student. College was not in my card, so to speak. I was married and had a child. And he said, you're going to Georgia State. And he took me along with 3 other students, got a college van, took us to Atlanta and met with the human service coordinator there. And of course, the rest is kind of history. I continued my program, bachelor's and my master's degree at Georgia State, and came back here to teach 19 years ago. So, and 19 years ago, August, as a matter of fact. But to me, you're right. The faculty and the programs that we here offer at Georgia Highlands, they should be highlighted. We have a lot of success. I mean, like I said, I didn't go to Yale, but I consider myself still a success, and it's an honor to pay it forward now as a faculty member.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome.
Well, it amazes me in my travels, I meet medical doctors, PhDs, attorneys, judges, who all started their education at Georgia Highlands.
I think the smaller class, and Now, some of my classes can be large, but some of them are small, and I think that helps. I think that the genuineness of our faculty and staff here. I mean, I can look around the college and go, Christy Twilley immediately, Tammy Nicholson, and there's many more. I can't, if I name them, I'll get in trouble. I'm probably going to get in trouble now because I left people out. But I look around at the staff as well. Amy Wise with the military,
Yes.
and I know one of the things that we are considered a military-friendly college.
We are, yes.
And that rocks to me.
Well, in fact, now we're designated as a yellow ribbon college,
Okay.
which means that if you are a veteran or you're currently in the military, you can get additional scholarship money from us.
Oh wow! So that's something kind of that's just started. I
Yes,
think.
absolutely. That's relatively new as of last May, since we're actually showing this in August.
That's right. Well, and you know something else. We're looking at with the military. I know there's been green zone training. A lot of the faculty, I went through the green zone training, and several other faculty and staff did, as well as got your six. And you know, we display on the door that, hey, we understand that as someone coming out of the military, it can be very difficult to reacclimate to civilian life. And I've never been in the military. I have some good friends and some family members that are in the military, but to really understand when they come back the dynamic of getting back into civilian life in general, but college life. I had one of my military guys tell me one day, he said, Dr. C, I'm not trying to be a complainer, but you know, it really aggravates me when these students in your class whine about homework or whine about what they're doing, and I'm sitting here going, you have no clue.
Yeah.
So, you know, to have that kind of sharing isn't.
You're right. You know, people typically think of college and college students, and they think about the traditional age student who's maturing and learning what it is to handle a real serious level of schoolwork, along with perhaps handling a part-time job. But I always are concerned most for the non-traditional student, because these are often adults balancing family, a full-time job, returning to school because they want to do something more with their career. And then when you think about a veteran, they're reacclimating themselves to civilian life while also doing all of those other things, usually balancing family and a job and going to school. And it is a challenge, there's no doubt. So Georgia Highlands tends to be a melting pot of a variety of different kinds of students. And I actually find that to be advantageous, because there are a number of traditional age students who have said to me how valuable it was to have veterans or older students in their classes, because they learn so much from those individuals about life, about work balance, and about really keeping your priorities.
And I look at learning as reciprocal. I learn something new from my students all the time.
Yeah.
I do not feel like I'm going to use bad English here. I do not learn students anything, but I can facilitate their learning process.
Yes.
So to me, you know, when the students come in with their life experiences, and as you said, wow, I learn from them, and the classmates learn from each other, because we all come from different places.
Yes.
Even if it's similar, it's still different.
Yeah.
And unique. So, and I think that's what makes Georgia Highlands such a wonderful place to be as a student, but also as an employee.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. The other day I was having a conversation with one of our veterans, and come to find out he has a real interest in personal finance and investment. And I do as well. There were so many things that he taught me about how to analyze stocks.
Oh, wow.
Just in the 15 or 20 minutes that we were talking. And of course, he's majoring in finance. Perfect for him. What a great career option for him. But you have to be open to that learning no matter who you are. And if you're part of the learning environment, you can learn from someone who's 18, someone who's 25, or someone who's 50. And it's not just faculty teaching, but faculty and staff, in our case, learning from our students as well.
Absolutely. And, you know, unfortunately, we have had students that come through here that have been homeless.
Yes.
And, you know, I think that we as a college embrace their uniqueness and are able to really help them move through. I had a student that graduated from the Human Service Program. At one point in that student's life, they were homeless.
Yes.
And as the director of the Human Services Program, I learn a lot more about my students than probably the average faculty member would, because my students do come to me, and we are human services. But, you know, to see the success of someone who thought, I can't do anything, but just took that step of faith, and to see them succeed, I get chill bumps.
You know, it really, and again,
makes
it's
you tear
this
up.
mix of students. We have valedictorians who have full ride scholarships. They're really bright. And they've really got the world by the tail. And they have every option available to them, and they choose to come to us because of value and high quality instruction. And then we have others who didn't even consider higher education as an original option. And they come to us because of the value and the lower price on tuition, but what they end up with is a high quality experience. I mean, what could be better?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, one of the other things, I'm thinking of some of the stuff you've talked to us about on kind of talking points about Georgia Highlands College. And I think that there's so many unique opportunities at GHC. One of them, I know Billy Morris does a geology trip. I caught you on that one.
Love Billy. Love Billy.
And he's done that for years. And students, in fact, I typically try to refer students, because for me, and a lot of my students are non-traditional, and I do get the traditional student as well, but that experiential learning is so important and invaluable. I know that I have also taken students to New Mexico to work on the Navajo Reservation. This is the first year in 5 years I didn't take some group, just for various reasons, but the students would come back and go, wow, because they even here in rural Georgia, never really understood until they walked out on a reservation, went to a home of a family of 6 who literally, house is not much bigger than this little area we're sitting on, 6 people living in it, no running water, a cast iron stove, or, you know, the wood burning stoves, 2 bunk beds, dirt floor.
Yeah.
And they were like, I never knew, you know.
No.
And so, you know, those kind of experiences are life-changing.
Yes, absolutely. Changing people's perspectives on life. I mean, you hit on 2 things, actually. So one of the things that you hit on is people don't realize within our community the expertise that we have amongst our faculty that we're happy to share. In your case, you have a great expertise on suicide. You have a great expertise on Native American life and, in fact, the poverty of many Native American populations. You mentioned Billy. The other day I snuck into his classroom, and by the way, if you're watching this, you owe me. I need some help. I left him a whole bunch of geologic samples of rocks and minerals and things, and a number of them, I have no idea what they are. So I need to have him tell me what they are. One of them I think might be a meteorite, but I'd love to know. So we can do those things. I had some core samples from Ontario that were core samples from an old gold mine. I left those for him. Those are just things for students. So it's a little bit of give and take and some exchange.
Oh, absolutely.
But we've got so many faculty that can help in so many ways.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we only have about a minute left in this segment, and I want to follow up some more on, like you said, faculty expertise and the things that faculty and staff do, but also looking at some programs that we offer at Georgia Highlands. So get your coffee and we'll be right back.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to GHC Coffee Break. Again, joining me is Don Green, the president of Georgia Highlands College, and now a colleague of mine, and hopefully I can say friend soon.
Absolutely.
We're getting to know each other more and more. But, you know, kind of getting back, we were talking about Billy and the things that Billy does. And there's a lot of, I know Ken Weatherman, who is actually retiring the little turkey.
Yeah. Well, after 40 years, the man deserves it, right?
Agree.
40 years at Georgia Highlands. Can you believe that?
That's awesome.
It is. It's
and
terrific.
He's an awesome.
He is.
But he, you know, he's taken trips, snowboarding or
skiing.
Skiing. So we've always tried, I think, at Georgia Highlands to step outside the box and to realize how important. Actually, we can talk about it, we can show PowerPoints, you know, but doing it really makes a difference. And I'm a very eclectic learner. I learn a lot better if I can see, taste, do whatever, you know, some kind of experience. And I think most students are that way. And I know another thing that we are looking at is more degree programs coming on board for bachelor's and online. So you choose which one you want to talk about first.
Well, let's see. Online, a lot of people don't know that we have 11 different degree programs that are fully available online. And for a lot of students, they don't want to do an entire program online, but they love the flexibility and the opportunity to be able to take a certain number of the courses online. I mean, that flexibility is awesome. It's terrific, and it allows you to be able to organize your schedule as you need to. So that's really valuable. New degree programs. You know, I certainly hope that we continue to build on our bachelor's degrees. We already have 2 bachelors. We have nursing and we have dental hygiene, but we're now moving into business bachelor's degrees, and we are putting proposals together for those, and I certainly hope that those I hope that those continue to move forward. One of those is logistics, another one's supply chain management, so we hope that those work.
Explain logistics. A lot of people might not know what that really is.
Sure. Getting things from here to there in the very best way you possibly can. So it can be trucking and shipping and a whole variety of other things, but think about this. We have I-75 that runs right through Georgia and right through northwest Georgia. So we have a lot of companies that are here who do warehousing or they do their manufacturing in the area specifically because it's easy to truck things on I-75 and hit a variety of different freeways to take your products throughout the United States. But who figures that out? Who plans those routes? Who works with the various trucking companies? Who works with the trains to make sure that you're doing your shipping there? Who works with getting your product from trucks to ships to be able to take it to other parts of the world? That's all logistics.
You know, one of the things that we look at is that just blows my mind, that how important, you don't think about people that do that.
No.
And you really think about the aspect of, well, it gets there, it gets from point A to point B, but who kind of directed it and made it happen?
Well, and the other part about supply chain is you've got logistics that takes things to different places, but you've got supply chain that brings product to us to have it manufactured. So when people think about manufacturing, for example, they think about creating product and about what goes on in the factory to create that product. But they seldom think about what has to come in raw materials, nor how things get from the factory to ultimately your store where you're able to purchase it. And those are big chains of events that people have to manage. So that's certainly one of the things we're looking at. And because of our location, it just makes perfect sense for us to be able to do that. Considering our location, Rome is a medical mecca. A lot of people come here for a variety of different medical procedures. Healthcare management, healthcare administration. That's another area we're looking at. We also Just recently, we've been talking with the various technical colleges across Northwest Georgia, and one of the things that we want to explore is medical information management, which is a little bit different. But you know, all of these people who manage all of these medical records, there's a great deal of security that's involved in that, and technology that's involved in that.
Definitely move more technology.
Absolutely. Well, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. So we're going to need to start doing some research and expanding into some of those areas. Now, those areas have not been approved yet, but this is kind of the direction we want to go for the future. Entrepreneurship. Rome and Cartersville and the rest of Northwest Georgia have certainly attracted businesses in from outside. But what are we doing to build and grow more businesses from within, from our own citizens? And so that's an area where we think we could do more with entrepreneurship.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, so there's a variety of different degree programs we're working on.
And I believe the dental hygiene was a relatively new, started, I want to say, in the it started in the 15, 16.
You are right. You are right, absolutely. And in fact, it required us to go out and get some additional faculty. Anytime that you're going from an associate's degree to a bachelor's degree, you're going to be handling more students, but you're also going to cover other areas of expertise, which means you're going to get different faculty. So it stretches us. And that's a good thing. It's good for the institution.
I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. What is your vision for Georgia Highlands in the next, let's say, year, 5 years, and maybe even, let's say, really get grandiose, 15, 20 years?
Sure. There's so many different directions we could go on that. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to say that, number one, our responsibility is to create great talent within Northwest Georgia. Now, that talent certainly can help us with economic development, but it also helps us with social development. So it helps us to be a better community, and it helps us to be a more economically prosperous community by giving us the skills and talents that our local businesses need. Rob Haas is the president, I believe, of the local Anheuser-Busch plant here in Northwest Georgia. And I was sitting down with him to talk about who we are and what we are and what our relationship is with Anheuser-Busch. And he really challenged me. He said, the most important thing, as he sees it, is that Georgia Highlands is vital, that we have a role that's vital to the future of Northwest Georgia. And to do that, we're going to have to continue to stretch and grow. I think we are vital. I think that what we do is we provide students with their start in higher education. But now we need to do more. We need to have more talent that we provide, more degree programs that we provide, more access to higher education. We're creating great high-quality students and we're moving them on, but what about students that want to stay here? What can we give them in a great value proposition and great education? So we need to do that. I think we need to bring more innovation to Northwest Georgia. You know, when people think higher education right now, they think about very traditional degree programs. Well, I could go into general business, I could go into teaching, nothing wrong with any of those majors.
Right.
That's great. But what's next? What can we do next in the sciences? We have this fabulous science faculty. We've got this great math faculty. I mean, one of the things we're doing right now is we're working on and we'll have available in the very near future associate's degrees in engineering. Great. What are we doing to promote those? What are we doing to get people out in industry attached to those degree programs so that we can get more engineers? And then what are we doing next with the sciences to expand those? So there's a lot of work that needs to be done in those areas across our communities.
Absolutely. And I can't, well, now that's close and some far. Is there anything specific that at this point, and it's okay if you don't.
No. Here's one of the things. I don't think we've talked yet today about accelerated degree programs.
No, we haven't.
You know, for a lot of adults who are working someplace,
Yeah.
they say, oh, I wish I had gotten my associate's degree, for example. It would really help me now because I really want to get a promotion at work, but they're telling me I have to have a degree to be able to do it. And wow, I look at what's required to be able to do that, so people see it as insurmountable. So we're putting together an accelerated degree program where our courses will be 8 weeks long. You can double up, you could even triple up very easily in a semester so that you could take a full-time load, but you're not going to be expected to be at school full-time to be able to do that. And we see that as a great opportunity for students. Again, value with a really high-quality educational opportunity, but in an accelerated format. And some people say, oh, wait, accelerated means not as high quality. No, not true at all. In fact, my dissertation work was a comparison on that very learning, and I found that adults, they've got this great experiential base, they've got great maturity, they have no problem.
And it's funny you said that because the human service program, I have 2 courses a semester that I do that way. I do an 2 8-week accelerated courses in the fall, and I do 2 in the spring. And you're exactly right. I think they actually do better because it's not that 16-week and time 16, 15 week gets there, you're just like, you're done.
Yes.
So I've really been and my students have been successful in the human services program that way.
Absolutely.
And as we said, they're non-traditional. They bring all those experiences. We only have about a minute left, but what we'll do is just go ahead and take a break and get our coffee, and we'll be right back with GHC Coffee Break.
Seven 7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Again, are you good with that?
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to GHC Coffee Break. I hope you've had a chance to get your coffee. I've had some great conversation with Don this morning, and that's so funny because I really, he's very insistent. He's Don.
Yeah, exactly.
So the first day we met, I believe, and but I think again that's what makes us so unique is that we are a family. I have felt that for years. Like I said, I've been here 19 as a professor. And just to kind of end up, I know we only have a short time, I'm going to ask you to start naming the programs at Georgia Highlands as we go out and fade out to...
Oh my goodness.
I really put him on the spot, guys.
Okay, so accounting, business, management, biology, chemistry, nursing, dental hygiene, history, languages, English. Within English, we have composition and we have literature. And I'm starting to run out of them. Can you help me?
Human services.
Oh my goodness, I forgot yours. I can't believe I forgot yours. I'll never be invited back.
No, never. Human services, dental hygiene, I think you might have said that. I
may have hit that. Physics. Oh my goodness. Math. Oh, Tim would be upset with me because we've got math. So many different majors, so many different directions for people to go.
All right. Well, thank you, Don Green, for joining us, our president of Georgia Highlands College, and we'll see you next time.